25,000 bonds. That is the price of entry into tier 10 competitive gaming. Is the T-22 medium worth it? Well, if you don't have a tier 10 and you want to play advances and clan wars with your friends, 25,000 bonds is what it's gonna cost you. That's the price of entry. Is this tank worth it? The answer is a resounding yes. The T-22 medium is like a twin brother of the 907 object, which is one of the most popular tier 10 competitive tanks out there because of its rate of fire and kind of trollish armor that you get out of the 907. The T-22, when it was first released, was an even more exclusive tank than it is now, and that is because it was supremely overpowered with its gun performance and armor profile. It has a really trollish armor, can bounce almost anything at all kinds of funky angles, and it's been nerfed recently. I think maybe a year or two ago it was nerfed and more widely available in black market sales and stuff like that, but now it's back in the trading caravan, and this is what you get. We're gonna show you here a gameplay that is typical of the T-22, which is reverse side scraping. This is its strongest suit. If you do decide to side scrape with the front of your tank, you are actually presenting a very flat surface to your enemies, because this tank has a piked nose, which means it is pointed in the front, and if you side scrape, you are actually presenting one of the flatter plates to your enemy, which is very easy to penetrate if they aim in that spot. So one of the tricks in this tank is playing it with a reverse side scrape. As you can see, bounced one from the pattern, because there is just no way you can pen it from the side angle. If you have it like angled and you're not presenting your actual butt to your enemy, they have to shoot your sides, and it is almost impossible to penetrate it. So this is one of the major advantages of the T-22, and for the players that are experienced and know how to play this tank well, it is a really powerful position to be in. Now the gun performance of this tank is almost identical to a 907. 264 standard penetration with APCR shells, which travel at 1500 meters per second. Very high velocity. 264 penetration, not the highest, but certainly more than enough in most situations. The premium shells are heat with 330 penetration, very good, very high penetration at 900 meters per second. This tank identical to the 907, again 320 alpha damage. The only thing difference here, it is reloading nearly 1 second slower, 7.19 seconds versus the 6.23 seconds of the 907. So therefore the 907 does have higher DPM, 30-80 DPM versus the T-22, which DPM is 2670. The reload time as well, 1.92 in the 907. In the T-22 is 2.01 seconds. It is almost negligible. Dispersion is 0.36, while on the 907 is 0.35. So, a tad worse gun performance in the T-22 versus the 907, but certainly does not make it a worse tank, I feel. It is still very highly competitive and very good, as you can see here, facing off with not one but two heavy tanks, an IS-7 and an E-100, and there's even a Badger sitting right at the back behind both of them. So this is a very highly competitive tank. Now, what is setting this tank apart from the 907, if you look or if you pay attention, the power to weight ratio of this tank is 22.03. The 907 is 17.92. This tank is highly agile. The same forward and reverse speeds, but in terms of agility, you are looking at a tank that can wiggle a lot better. It can get to that 55 kilometers an hour forward speed a lot quicker than a 907. Now, a 907 is by no means a slow tank or a sluggish tank, but the T-22 is just a whole level up versus the 907 in terms of agility. It basically maneuvers like a light tank. It does not have the top speed perhaps of a light tank. A light tank maybe does 65 kilometers an hour, but it can get to that 55 kilometers an hour really quickly, and it can really wiggle, dodge, side scrape, highly maneuverable when you are brawling either with medium or heavy tanks. You can micro adjust your positions very quickly in the T-22 medium, and that is what sets it apart from the 907. Now, in terms of armor, 100 millimeters of armor, hull armor in the front, that is 10 millimeters less than a 907 frontally. It does have the same shaped angled armor, but remember, the 907 does not have a pike nose. This one does. So the 907 can side scrape frontally and expect to bounce some shells frontally, but this one, because of the pike nose and the flat surface when you are side scraping frontally, this is where the weakness is. You do not want to side scrape frontally with this tank if you can avoid it. The turret armor is 2 millimeters thicker than the 907. So the 907 already very famous because of its trollish turret armor, 228 millimeters on the 907. The T-22 is 230, slightly more. Even the rear of the turret is 140 millimeters, while the 907 is only 46 millimeters. So if you plan to shoot the T-22 medium at the back of the head, sometimes you're gonna notice that it's going to bounce, and that's because it's 140 millimeters thick, 100 millimeters more than a 907. So there you go with that slightly trollish armor in the T-22 medium. Like I was saying, if you don't have a tier 10 tank and you have 25,000 bonds lying around, I would definitely pick it up. Why? Because this buys you a ticket into tier 10 competitive gaming, whether you are playing in random battles or join in advances as a legionnaire, or if you happen to want to join a clan to get into competitive gaming, no problem. The T-22 will do this for you. It is definitely welcomed in advances or tier 10 clan wars. No problem. You can walk straight in. If you don't have a 907, you don't have a 140, no problem. 25,000 bonds buys you a T-22 medium. Get yourself into advances, get yourself into clan wars, get yourself invited. Definitely a strong tank, not the strongest tank, but definitely a very competitive tank. Hope you enjoyed this video and got an insight into how to play this game aggressively in this tank. Thanks for watching. See you on the next video. Bye bye.